Hey guys, so I'm here today with another pregnancy update. Yes, I'm wearing the same jacket that I wore in my last pregnancy update. I was just kind of trying to knock out a few videos in one day because, like I had told you, I had some complications over the weekend and was on bed rest, and I am just now, getting my face on and getting ready enough to film a video. So I'm just kind of trying to take it easy. This past weekend was probably the worst weekend of my entire life. That I will be talking about in my 22-week video pregnancy update. So for this video, don't mind this guy. We are pet sitting this little kitty, and he's probably going to be like all over the place and kind of, just in the background of my videos. So don't mind him. He'll be walking around. But okay, so I'm going to be talking about week 17 through 20 in this video. And again, trying to kind of clump some of these together to knock them out quickly so that I can get you up to speed with where I am now. When I'm filming this video, I'm currently 23 weeks as of today. During these weeks is when I first started noticing myself showing. I had not noticed anything before. On week 17, I was kind of looking at my side profile and I was like, is that a baby bump? I don't know. I kind of took a picture and I was like, I feel like that's just kind of like a pooch or like bloated looking. So I don't know. I didn't feel like it looked too much different from when I was just like bloated before my period. I don't know. I've never had just like a super duper flat stomach. I kind of just have a little pooch. So anyway, with that being said, I saw that and I was like, delete. So I deleted that picture because I didn't really notice anything different. I want to say it was like a couple days before week 19, so later into my 18th week is when I did actually notice. I was like, okay, that is unmistakable. That is a baby bump. So I took a little picture. If you guys follow me on Instagram, again, I do way more bump updates on there that are kind of current and, just stuff like that. So if you're dying to see pictures, make sure you're following me on Instagram. Once I'm up to date, I'll be showing you every single week. And I kind of explained that in my previous video. So if you're curious, watch that one, and I explained it better as to why I had not been showing my bump or whatever. But you can expect a bump picture at the end of this video because this is when I started showing. I'm looking down here. I have a card. Sorry. I'm not trying to be like totally scatterbrained on you guys, but I don't want you to be like, why are you looking down this whole video? So that is why. I'm just kind of like trying to look at my notes and see what I had written down for these weeks. Anyway, okay, so yeah, these were the weeks that I started noticing myself showing. So I was like, killer, I finally have a baby bump. I was really excited. I took a picture. I'll have that at the end of the video. I did notice like some dull cramping and stretching these few weeks. It was kind of towards the end of the day once I had already, done all the day's tasks and done everything that I do on a regular daily basis. And it would just kind of be like, I don't know, the feeling of, I don't know, really just like you're like, after you eat a super big meal, like your stomach just kind of stretching almost is kind of what it feels like. But obviously it's not your stomach, it's your uterus. So it's kind of a similar feeling, kind of not, but it's definitely not like menstrual cramps. So I did experience that. It was nothing like too crazy or painful. It was just kind of like, oh, I feel something going on down there. So I kind of started noticing that during these weeks. The other thing I started noticing was major back pain. And I'm not talking like I was talking about in my previous video, like, okay, my shoulders or my, like, top of my back, bottom of my back kind of hurt because just, my chest is weighing down on my back, or, my stomach expanding or anything like that. I'm talking like, holy cow, I am on the floor, can't walk, like literally in tears, crying, seeing stars kind of back pain. Just a little background on my history. I do have scoliosis. I've been diagnosed with that for several years now. So back pain is not something that I'm unaccustomed to. I have a very high tolerance for back pain. That's what I'm trying to say is it wasn't like I was being a baby about it and was like, oh my gosh, ow, this hurts. Like it was like, okay, I can't walk. Like there was a point where Brock was literally carrying me around the apartment, putting me where we were about to go because I couldn't walk on my own. It really, unfortunately, even until now, has not gotten better, and I expect it really to only get worse as I get bigger and this pregnancy goes on. That's just a lovely little side note. I had called the doctor, told her what I was experiencing, and she was just kind of like, okay, well, we have some stretches that I can send a little file to you. You can try that out and see if that maybe helps. I did say it was okay for me to be taking Tylenol during my pregnancy. I'm pretty sure that's a standard painkiller that you're allowed to take because it doesn't actually thin your blood as much as like ibuprofen and other stuff like that. Don't quote me on that. That's just kind of what I had interpreted. I could be completely way off, but I just know that they told me that was safe to take. She told me to take Tylenol as needed. I'm not one to run to the medicine cabinet and grab a pain pill or headache pill or whatever, you know, as soon as I feel just a little bit of discomfort. I mean, for me to take something, I have to be feeling really, really bad. And so I did unfortunately start taking Tylenol. I really didn't want to start, you know, just putting medicine into my body. It was really hard for me to even take the Zofran that they hello, YouTuber problems, prescribed for my nausea. So it's really been hard for me because I'm not a person who likes to take medicine, basically, is what I'm trying to say in a nutshell. But it got to the point where that was kind of my only choice, and I realized that I'm not like some like natural person who's like, oh my gosh, I'm never gonna take medicine even if I am like dying of pain. Like, I definitely will, but I just don't like to. So anyway, they sent me some stretches, and in this email it was like an attachment of things that they thought would kind of help. I started doing the stretches, and I got on the ground and I could not get up. Like, it was, I literally could not move my leg. I had both my arms around my right leg trying to pick it up to move myself. I was just laying like flat on my back, and I couldn't move. Here's how I've been explaining it to people, like when it first happens, because I make this horribly ugly face, and you can tell when I'm getting this pinched nerve feeling, and I'll explain what I'm talking about here in a minute. I can't help it, but when I make this face when it happens, and I can't, it's like the ugliest face, I'm sure, but they're like, what is going on? Like, what exactly are you feeling? Like, my mom and Brock and, you know, my dad and just other people that I've been around have been asking me, they're like, what exactly are you feeling right now? And I was like, the best way that I possibly can describe it is if somebody is just stabbing me in the back with a serrated knife and giving me a dead leg at the same time. It was the most excruciating pain I've ever felt in my life. So obviously the stretches failed. Tylenol kind of helped, but, you know, not anything significant, and that in itself was huge, because I was like, I don't take medicine all the time. It's not like I've built up some crazy tolerance. I took an extra strength 500 milligram Tylenol, and it like barely helped. So anyway, I called my doctor again the next day, and I was just like, okay, I don't know what is going on. I really have no idea what this is. I was like, this is just, I know this is not normal. Like, I don't see pregnant women walking and then all of a sudden falling because their legs give out on them. So my doctor, I was talking to her, and or actually it was like my doctor's nurse, but I was talking to her, and she was like, well, she's like, honestly, from what you're describing, I don't even need to see you. Obviously, we're going to check you out the next time you come in, which was only a few days from when I had called. They were going to check me out at that point, and she was like, I am just going to go ahead and diagnose you with sciatica. If you're not sure what that is, you can totally Google it, or I'm about to explain it, but it's probably not going to make a whole lot of sense because I'm not a doctor and I'm just kind of relaying the message. Basically, it's kind of like a pinched nerve, like a very painful, severe pinched nerve in like the lowermost part of your back. It's basically like where my tailbone is, just kind of off to the right side. And the reason for this, come to find out when I went to my 20-week ultrasound, was that the baby is so low that, well, actually, I'm a little bit annoyed with my ultrasound tech right now because she kind of said her verbiage is very off and made me feel really uncomfortable. But she goes, you're carrying your baby insanely low. I've never seen this in my 30 years of practice. And I was kind of like, okay, like, is that something to be concerned about? You know, just like, okay, you don't say you've never seen something in your 30 years of practice and expect a first-time mom not to be like a little bit up in arms about it. I asked her about that, and she was just like, well, she's like, I'm not overly concerned right now, but she was like, it's just very strange. And I was like, okay. And she was like, that is probably why you're having sciatica. And I was like, okay, well, that makes sense. Like, because she said basically, okay, and here's her wording, and again, like, I don't know, basically it just really pissed me off. But anyway, she basically said that my baby looked like a little collapsed ball of bones just kind of on my right side, and that is basically what she told me. And at that point, I'm like crying. I'm like, what in the world is going on? Like, why are you gonna say that to me and then act like it's no big deal? And I don't know, this lady is just, like I said, she's kind of pissed me off. And I've talked to my doctor about things, and then she made me even more mad my next ultrasound because considering how low I was carrying the baby, they did determine that I was a high-risk pregnancy and gonna have to be going in more frequently for ultrasounds to be checking on the baby since it was so low, and it was like basically in position to go for me to go into labor. So they couldn't, that was when I was supposed to find out the gender, was that first time that I went in for my 20-week ultrasound, and I did not find out. I went back for my 22-week ultrasound, and then I'll update you in my 22-week video about that. From basically 20 weeks until 23 weeks was the biggest nightmare of my life, and I will be explaining all about that in those videos, but that was kind of where the 20-week part ended, and they just left it off that, you know, we'll check and see if maybe the baby moves next time. It just maybe was sleeping, or, you know, something was going on. And so they didn't leave me overly concerned, but it was still concerning enough to be like really anxious about my next appointment. Telling this to somebody who already has anxiety and panic attacks already makes that much worse. That was kind of like what happened through my 20 weeks, like 17 to 20 weeks. With that being said, there's only a couple other things I wanted to talk about in this video. So through the 17 to 20 week mark, I definitely started feeling the baby kick really, like, just a lot stronger than I ever had. They'll tell you kind of before now that it just kind of feels like flutters, or, you know, gas bubbles, or like you have little butterflies in your tummy or something like that. But these were like unmistakable kicks, like, and punches or whatever was happening, like flips, I don't know, you could definitely feel it. So they just kind of have been getting stronger and stronger, and then at 20 weeks it was like unmistakable. I also started getting really, really uncomfortable when I was trying to sleep. They say to lay on your left side, that way the blood circulation is better and the baby isn't like squashed and gets better oxygen. So I had been trying to sleep on my left side. I am a stomach sleeper, and so sleeping on my side is not really comfortable for me, but I've kind of, you know, kind of gotten used to it. It wasn't like something I loved doing like the first night. I didn't even like move from my left side the whole time, and then I woke up and my whole side was just kind of like sore. So I don't know, I haven't really been enjoying sleeping on my side, and so I had trouble sleeping. I'd be waking up so much in the middle of the night needing to go pee, or just little things kind of waking me up and not allowing me to sleep through the night. Kind of the biggest event, I guess, of these few weeks was the sciatica diagnosis, and again, like I said, I probably didn't explain that to the best of my ability. I can put a definition in the description box down below to make it easy for you guys. But if any of you moms out there have had sciatica, or, you know, pregnancy-induced sciatica is what I was diagnosed with, because obviously this isn't something that I've experienced before. Let me know if there was anything that gave you relief. They've told me to try icy hot. No, thank you. That just didn't work out. The only thing really that has given me any relief was like putting a hot pad on my back, and that was, it helped decently, but not, I don't know. I just don't really know if there's anything that necessarily will help. If you are a mother, or even, I know that you can get sciatica even if you're not pregnant. So if you are just someone who has been diagnosed with sciatica, just kind of in general, let me know if you have found any ways to get relief, because I'm telling you, I literally would just be walking and then just be on the floor. It's just, I don't know. It's literally the craziest thing I've ever experienced. Like I said, my poor husband's been literally just picking me up and taking me where I need to go in the apartment, you know, running errands and doing basically everything because I couldn't. It's been very hard because it hasn't gotten any easier. It's only gotten worse as I've gotten bigger. That's basically all I need to say. I think I'm really rambling at this point, you guys, and I am so sorry. So I think I'm just gonna cut it off there and try to keep these like short and sweet. I'm also getting very tired right now, and I think I probably need to eat something. So I'm just gonna call it quits here. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will see you next Wednesday with another pregnancy update, and throughout the week with my regular beauty videos. So make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you want to see more updates, and if you like these type of videos, make sure to subscribe so you can be notified for future videos, and I will see you guys next time. Love you. Bye.